you doing, everybody? Got a quick little video for you. This was requested by one of my subscribers to show how I clean my Benchmade Griptilian, how you take it apart and clean it all out. So I'm going to do that real quick for you. A couple things you're going to need before you even start. First off is a little torque spit driver. What specific numbers you're going to need is a T6 and a T10. This is going to take off the pivot, and this is going to take off all the other torque spits. So this is just a little cobalt one I got from Lowe's, $5 I believe, relatively cheap. So you need one of those. Some kind of, if you want to lubricate your knife, some kind of lube. I use Benchmade Blue Lube. This is actually the Blue Lube cleaner. They have a cleaner and a lube separately, but I was told by my local knife shop that you can use this for both, and they were very correct. This works great. You put it on there, it's going to clean out all the gunk and grime and then lubricate it afterwards. It even says cleans, protects, and lubricates on the back, and it works great. I do this for every single one of my knives, even before I start using them. Most of the Spydercos I get, mainly the ones that are riveted, that don't have adjustments, are kind of stiff and sticky from the factory. Put this on there, let it sit for a day, and it's beautiful. Works nice and smooth. So you need some type of lube. I always suggest knife specific, so this works. And then Q-tips work best for me for actually cleaning out the crap inside the knife. Gets in nice little spots. So a couple of these. You can see the ones I already used to clean it out. After he mentioned making a video, I went and did it and didn't realize how dirty it had gotten after some use. So I've already pre-cleaned this. I'm just going to go through and show you how to do it. Okay, first thing you're going to need to do is take out your screws here. Take out your pivot first. I suggest working one side, putting the screws back in, and then working the next, simply because the Griptilian with the access lock and the liners, if you don't, everything is going to come apart. So you want to work with it, I think, with the least, to making it the least difficult as possible. And keeping one side intact at all times, I think, does that. So what you want to do, start with the pivot screw side, so the side that you actually have to loosen the pivot screw here and take out. The other side is just the flat side. So take out the pivot screw, take out the two screws in the center of the handle here, flip it over, and then take out the three that run along the top of the knife. So 1, 2, and 3 back by the pocket clip. Alright, but you're going to want to keep the 3 pocket clip screws in there. That's what's going to hold the one side of your knife intact. So keep that. Alright, and then open up the knife so the access lock isn't under any stress or anything. Alright, and then take off the scale. So just kind of wiggle it off. It's going to come off. Now mine has a landing hole, so it's going to stay on there, but yours will come off completely. Okay, and now you can see the inside workings of the knife. You have your full steel liner here, you have your Omega spring, and then you have your access bar or access lock here. And you can play with it and see how it works. Opens and closes. It's pretty cool. Alright, first thing I do is take your Q-tip. See if I can get this in frame for you. And I clean out my scale. This is where a lot of it's going to accumulate inside these little squares here. So clean out your scale, clean around where the pivot screw goes and where the access lock goes. A lot of debris gets caught there, and also back here by your pocket clip holes, because they're just open holes for dirt to fall into. So you're going to clean that out. After that, move on to the steel liners here. So clean around where the pocket clip screws go in. Right? Around your pivot, you're going to have a lot of gunk, so you're going to want to clean that. Okay. Next, I flip it over, and inside where your access lock is, your actual locking bar, I always get a bunch of gunk in there. So you stick your Q-tip in there, spin it around, kind of up actually on the bar. Alright, get a little bit out. After that, I prop up the scale here, stick my Q-tip in, and move it inside. Go all the way up into your axis lock as well. After you've done that, pay a lot of attention back to where your pocket clips are again. A lot of the gunk accumulates there by your screws and for your pocket clip. After that, I wiggle it in like so, and then get along the tang of your blade here, the actual portion that rotates and rides on the lock. Clean that all off, and then your little detent before your actual edge here, clean that off. Alright, you flip it over, and you actually close the knife real quick so you can get, see if I can get it to focus, get right back here along the locking portion. Alright, and then also stick it inside here and actually clean your locking bar. Okay, if you run it back and forth like this, it'll actually make it spin a little bit, and that's what you're going to want to do. Just clean that off. Alright, close the knife again. With whatever your non-dominant hand is, pull the axis lock back. See, I pulled it back, and clean underneath of it. Alright. Do that. Make sure you don't leave any cotton behind. Just adds more gunk to it. It's not really going to hurt the action of the knife. It's just going to stay in there. Alright, and that's pretty much all I do to clean it off. That usually gets it pretty darn clean. You can see it's nice and shiny. No black debris or anything. No gunk. Okay. After that, throw that Q-tip away and get another one. And actually take your Benchmade Blue Lube and drench it one side of your Q-tip in there and rub it around where your pivot's going to go. Move your axis lock back again and put some there. Anywhere it's going to actually moving parts that are going to interface with metal. Metal on metal you want to lubricate. Okay. Nothing in the pocket clip, nothing in the scales. Take a Q-tip again that's lubricated, and on the bottom here, as well as the top, lubricate. Okay, and after that I'll close the knife with the scale still off. Okay, and actually take the blue lube and drop just one or two. You don't need a lot. One or two on the top here. Okay, and let that kind of all fall into the phosphor bronze bushings and everything and get worked in there. And then open and close your knife just like this to wiggle all lubrication around. Just wiggle it in there. Okay, lock it back a couple times, close it. Alright, make sure it all gets worked in there. And then with the knife open, I always go back and wipe off all the excess lubrication that you don't need. That's going to be coming on the blade and all that, just to get it off. Okay. Now, what I would do is, now I only did one side here, just for demonstration purposes, but you're going to put your scale back on. Alright. And then put your 2 screws in here, on the pivot side, back in. That's going to hold that liner to the scale. Okay. And flip it over, and then take your pocket clip screws off. Take that scale off, and do the exact same thing to that side. Okay? So it's going to hold the knife together again on the other side, just like it was for this one. Alright, and then do the same thing, and then lubricate it. Okay? Pretty simple, pretty easy. Just be careful not to break that omega spring or do anything. That's why I say do it in stages. Do one side at a time. And you should be good. Alright, hope that helped. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And thanks for watching.